Welcome back. While Gauteng Health Department has condemned continuing attacks on emergency medical services workers, the department says its EMS personnel are attacked when responding to emergency calls. This comes after EMS Green Angels were robbed of their belongings at gunpoint. The department has recorded 11 incidents, among which are an attempted sexual assault. So for more on this, we're joined now by Gauteng Health Operations Manager Colin Errakiah. Thank you so much, Colin, for your time this morning and welcome to it. Let's talk a little bit about just some of the realities that are being faced by our EMS when responding to calls, by the way, from the community.
Hi, good morning. Thank you. And ma'am, I think, Gauteng is under attack in terms of when we are responding to emergencies, and rightfully so. We become soft targets to the criminals out there because they make use of Gauteng EMS as a deployment point for them at certain of the vulnerable areas, especially the informal settlements where ambulances have to wait for patients to bring their escorts to escort us to emergencies in the informal settlements. So we become soft targets to these criminals. And what they do is they especially attack us at night, and they come for our personal belongings, and there's a new phenomenon now. They even take our ambulance keys so that our crews can't go anywhere after that.
Sheesh.
So apart from that, it's also, I think, the after effects on the crews when it comes to crews that get manhandled or even sexually assaulted by these criminals wanting jewelry, etc., from the male and female paramedics. They go through some kind of sexual harassment, and this psychologically affects these crews that are doing this service.
Yeah.
We've got a program where we send them for counseling, and they go through various medical practitioners, but their road to rehabilitation, I think we must understand that these are mothers and fathers, and it takes quite a while to put them back into operations, and it affects our operational requirements. So service delivery has actually been hampered by these paramedic attacks.
Colin, help us understand. Help us understand a second here. Do you get calls intentionally from, let's say, criminals in the community who would then know that if we call out, for example, an ambulance with paramedics and the like, they will come in and this is our opportunity to actually rob them or to, assault them or whatever? So are the calls that are coming in calls where you get to actually go and help a patient or potential patient out? Or do you get calls as EMS where when you find out that actually the call that was made is almost like a prank call or a call to actually rob you? What kind of, I'm just trying to think here, when does the criminal activity come in? From the point of the call that gets made, so the criminals make the call, or from the point where you're attending to a patient and the criminals take advantage of the situation?
So I think it happens in multiple ways. So you're quite right. The one aspect is a criminal will make a hoax call. We call it a prank call, like you said, and call for an ambulance and saying that I have an emergency. And when we get there, then criminals will attack our guys and rob them. The other instances, when our crews are on scene and they're at a person's home and they're treating the patient and they put the patient into the ambulance, then they would come with either live guns and ammunition, and then they'd hold up our crews while they're treating the patient. And patients can attest to this, that it actually happened live while our people are treating them, that they come and rob the ambulance crews and the ambulance patients. So it happens on different ways, different modes, if you call it. But in terms of that call trajectory or that call that happens, they do multiple things. Multiple things happen that the criminals look at robbing our crews. So I think, like I said earlier on, EMS is becoming a soft target. And I think that's why we as EMS, we're engaging with our law enforcement, our community, especially the community policing forum. We're going to each area to say, you guys, the community, must come and assist EMS because you have a direct link in your community in terms of safety, with the policing forum and the law enforcement, so that when a call is activated, people just don't sit back and say, let me just wait for that ambulance. Let's look out and see that EMS is protected. Even when EMS is on scene, let's have communities that can also be the activated, that they can protect us and protect our crews.
Yeah. Is there an actual concern, Colin, that this could potentially jeopardize how many people sign up to be part of emergency services in this country, and particularly looking at this province? Because if you are going to work, and going to work every single day is a potential threat, I wonder what this could actually mean for the industry in itself, for those that just want to help people and they themselves turn out being the victim.
You're quite right. It could actually deter a new entrance into the market, because they could look at the safety and security aspect. When coming into EMS, we could be attacked and we could have all of these risks attached to us. So, but I think with any other field, I mean, these attacks are not only taking place in the EMS, it's also in our hospitals, in our clinics. But I think we as the employer, what we're trying to do, we're trying to make this environment safer. So we're looking at technology in terms of security measures, panic buttons, cameras, etc., to see how we can protect our crews, to make it a safer environment, that even when they come on board, they will feel comfortable that they're being protected. We also, I think through our emergency communication center, we're looking at a voice biometric technology that we can sift out these prank calls. So when somebody is phoning for an emergency, you can actually tell from their voice whether it's a real emergency or whether there's no urgency in their voice. So there is technology. So I think we as EMS, we're trying our best to look at all means to make the environment more safer, that we would not deter new entrants to the market. But also, I think we must also be aware that there's an overseas market out there that's offering lucrative remuneration that's attracting all our paramedics and emergency care officials. So I think it's a fine line between whether people, they'll make their own choice whether they want to stay or not stay. So I think it's a difficult one for us, but we keep on trying to make the environment more safer for our crews.
Yeah, but is government hearing your calls, Colin, in being able to assist with an integrated effort to actually keep you guys safe while you're doing your jobs? I mean, are they hearing you?
So I think there was a safety symposium in 2018 where all government sectors got involved and they came up with a strategy, and they said we must take it back to provinces to roll out the strategy. But I think we can do more from a safety and security point. We can really do more. I think the way we look at it at the moment is, I think government is overwhelmed, especially for the security services. If you look at SAPS, there's so much of things that are happening on their side. Even when we actually, what we do is we classify the areas that are high risk as hot zones. So we don't allow our ambulances to go into dangerous areas. We actually call for a SAPS escort. But the flip side of it is, when you call for a SAPS escort, you're actually delaying your response times to save that life. So waiting for an ambulance, a SAPS escort could take any amount of time when a SAPS vehicle is available to escort you to that scene. But then the patient's condition could deteriorate. And also, when you actually get to the patient, then the family members are angry because the ambulance delayed. But I think it's a vicious conundrum that everybody needs to look at it holistically and see these are the risks involved for EMS, the risks involved for the patient, and how can we as government come up with ideas and solutions to make it better that we save that life.